All right, welcome back. Happy Friday, everybody. Today is October the 1st, and you have officially made it through the first month of middle school. So congratulations. Thank you for all your hard work and commitment to our math class right now. Now, today we're going to start with long division. And if it's not your favorite, we're going to start off a little bit slow, and then we'll build up to more complex problems. All right, so we're going to go back. I'm not sure when the first time you were introduced to long division, but today we're going to focus on dividing a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. Okay, so let me share my screen so you can get some writing down. And come on, share. All right, there it is. All right, so here is our paper that we need. So make sure you have your notebook out. Today is the first 10-1-21. And the question for today is, how do we perform long division, right? How does this work? So if this has been scary for you before, I know when I was a kid, long division was something that I had to work a little bit harder at than multiplication. But I just kept at it, right? I kept going and trying my best. And sure enough, with time and practice, I got better. So keep it up, all right? Just keep working at it. And I promise you that eventually it'll start to click for you, okay? After we're done with this, you're gonna do IXL C5, okay? And it should be very similar to this, where you're taking a 3-digit number and we're going to multiply it by a 2-digit number, which is 16, okay? So pause the video if you need to, so you can write down all this information before we get started, and then come on back and play the video again, okay? All right, so welcome back. Hopefully you've written everything down. And let's start to talk about this, okay? So as far as the steps right now, I guess I would say, try to figure out. So here's the challenging part, right? It's hard to think of a number that we can multiply by 16 to give us 208, right? So let's not start there. Let's start with 16 divided into 20. So I guess if we wanted to write a step down, is to find a number within this big giant number, right? Is it 20? Is it 2? So we have like 3 numbers that you can make up, right? So let me back up. My apologies. All right, because I get excited and well, I don't want to confuse you. All right, so we have 3 numbers here if you want to kind of consider it, right? We could try to say, well, can 16 go into 2? No. Can 16 go into 20? Yes. So once you figure that out, right, what's the first number that you can create out of this, that 16 that can be divided by 16, period, just can be divided by 16, right? And 20 is the first one, right? So let's write that down kind of as a step, right? Something that we can go back and refer to. All right, so step 1 is find a number in 208 that can be divided by 16, right? Or our divisor, yes, this is our divisor, this is our dividend, I believe. I always get those mixed up. All right, so this is our divisor, the number we're dividing by, and the dividend is the number we're dividing up, okay? And so again, if you're not sure what I meant by find a number in 208, right? Not Z08, it's 208, right? So there's 3 numbers that we can create here out of this number, right? There's a 2, there's a 20, and then there's a 208. And the first one we could get is this 20. So we're gonna see how many times does 16 go into 20? And if you guess 1 time, that's correct, because twice, that would be 32, that's too much. Okay, so we know 16 goes into 20 1 time, okay? All right, so then step 2, right? And this is going to be our quotient, okay? This answer is going to be our quotient. So you're going to take the first digit of your quotient and multiply by 16. Okay, so we're going to multiply. So this is so far our quotient has a 1 in it. It might just be 1, we don't know. I do kind of know, I guess. I know it's not going to just be 1. But this is the first digit in our quotient, right? So we're going to take that digit of that quotient, and we're going to multiply it by 16. So we're going to take 1 times 16, which is 16, okay? And then we're just going to subtract, okay? So step 3 would be subtract, cross this out. Step 3 would be subtract 16 from 20, okay? And then step 4 really is just repeating the process, okay? So there's nothing really different after this, right? We just repeat the process, okay? So what's the next value that 16 can go into, all right? So let's do this first. So let's finish step 3 first. Let's review real quick. So we found a number in 208 that 16 can divide into, right? Which was 20. 16 goes into 20 one time. Then we took that first digit from the quotient and we multiplied it by 16. So 1 times 16 is 16. And then we're going to subtract 16 from 20, right? So 20 minus 16 is 4. All right. And I guess there is a step 4 we can add in here, right? Is carry down the 8. All right. Oops, there you go. So carry down the 8. All right. So we're going to take this 8 and we carry it down. And that creates 48, right? And then we repeat the process. What's the first value that 16 can divide into, right? 16 can't go into 4, but 16 can go into 48. And I already know this answer. It's 3, okay? So 16 goes into 48 3 times. If you don't know, just try, like find an empty space somewhere and try some numbers times 2 or times 16, excuse me, to see how close to 48 you could get, right? So you could do 16 times 2. That would be 32, so that's not enough. So then you could do 16 times 3, and I did that earlier, and 16 times 3 equals 48, okay? So 3 times 16, we already know is 48. We subtract these values, right? So just like step 3, and the remainder is 0. So our quotient or solution, right? 208 divided by 16 equals, all right, 13. All right. And if you wanted to check your answer, let's do that. We have some time. Right? So if you want to check your answer, you just take 16 times 13. Let's see if we get 208, right? 3 times 6 is 8. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Right? I'm going to place a 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we just add, right? 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. And voila. Okay, our quotient works. All right. So hopefully those are good notes. If you have some more questions, again, this is just a starting point for you to get some idea of how to do this. And then go try some problems on IXL. And of course, when we get into some class learning, we'll go over this a little bit further, give you some feedback, get some structured learning in there. So again, whatever you do, don't give up. Keep going, right? Keep going with your math. Let me stop sharing here. So keep going and good luck on your IXL, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, so happy Friday. We made it to another week, and I'll see you in class. Take care.